not seen too much happen from these ghosts so far. Those early EMP was not placed correctly, and those sentries had the good force fields, so we'll see whether he gets up any nukes or whether he uses these ghosts to try to take down the shields of those Archons. Looks like we had another potential drop up here at the natural of Inflow Mini. And a good storm here, and again, having these High Templar in position early, they can gain energy at these different expansions. He has a few more in the north as well, and really going to shut down these drops. Looks like we have another Warp Prism on the way for Mini, so he could do some drops of his own. With that Warp Prism, you can warp in behind the mineral lines and storm all these workers, taking them down quite quickly. Looks like we have planetary fortresses being prepared, and perhaps in the center here as well, as QXC does have bunkers going up, as well as missile turrets. This is going to be very hard to penetrate for Inflow Mini. Though those Colossi are going to help with that extended thermal lance upgrade, able to outrange the planetary fortress. QXC doing more harassment here. But Mini does have an observer placed up here, so he's going to be able to see these units, and a little bit of miss micro there, or absence of micro from QXC, as those Marines do go down. So these Stalkers are going to ward away that medevac and stop the harassment, at least for now. We see Mini does have up this 4th expansion. It is not yet saturated. Looks like we have a transfer coming right now. If we check out the mineral count, QXC is far ahead again. That's off the strength of these now 5 bases, a number of planetary fortresses. And it looks like that Warp Prism was taken down again by those missile turrets. So no harassment coming for Inflow Mini on the economy of QXC. And QXC taking a firm lead at this point. Also able to use fewer harvesters in the long run. Having those mules, Terran's able to spend more of his army, as we see both players nearing 200, more of his population count on army, rather than having to make SCVs or probes. Looks like this medevac down here just going to be scouting perhaps to see whether Inflow Mini tries to get an expansion up on this island. If we check the resources of both players, off multiple bases here doing a pretty good job. They are maxed out, so we may see an encounter as one or both players gets tired of being 200. And both players around 2,000 minerals as well, which is pretty smart at this stage of the game. Not great scouting on the part of either player, as we see a scan down here. And both players have all their tech lines really unlocked here, so if Mini goes for a lot of Colossi, QXC is going to want to have minerals in the bank to produce a lot of Vikings. If he goes for more of the Templar, QXC is going to want to have minerals to get up more Ghosts. So more scans coming from QXC. Again, these planetary fortresses going to be very tough to break through in the center. And it looks like these Ghosts are coming in, a whole pack of them. Gaggle of Ghosts, 7 of them. And scans. See a Storm trying to get those Ghosts, but good snipes going down on that Templar. Did not stand a chance. Storm's just going down every which way, and now we see a nuke going down for QXC. Hoping to catch the army of Inflow Mini, but he's got 20 seconds to avoid this. Might catch the back part of that army. We'll check out the HP. Looks like he's not going to get anything there, but he is doing a drop in the southern part of the map, and he's going to try to force this Nexus to cancel. Inflow Mini coming in with a few Templar. Not enough energy on the one. He's going to have one Storm, but if he does a good job microing, he could force the the Nexus is going to be canceled there. Not sure about the cancellation on that. Inflow Mini was about to clean that up, and he had a number of units here as well, so probably could have kept that up and running. Going to come in with cannons, which are great against drops, against those small units of, or the small numbers of units for QXC. QXC getting up a number of orbital commands now, so spending those resources. We see both players getting pretty high on the resource count, and maybe using the orbital commands there to get mules down, so he can just mine out his half of the map faster than his opponent. Maybe engage in a 200 battle, then macro up faster than Inflow Mini, and overrun him before Inflow Mini is able to get his army count up again. So that's all I can really think of usage for these command centers. We'll see whether these two incoming command centers become orbital commands as well, or planetary fortresses positioned around the map. See a drop in the northern part of Inflow Mini's base here. 2 medevacs dropping down here, going to try to focus down these units. Again, just small numbers of units coming in off those warp gates. Going to try to be focused down quickly. See feedbacks going off on those ghosts, but not a lot of energy on the ghosts. And these units should be able to clean up these zealots if they do a good job microing. Again, cleaning up the units of the Protoss player, now going to be able to take their pick of what tech they want to go after. Looks like he is going to go for this fleet beacon, so going to try to prevent any mothership play or carrier play. And now going to be working on the robotics facility as well. Could perhaps be taking down this forge. Info Mini trying to get those upgrades up and going. I believe he only has, or he has 2 forges right now, both of whom could be focused down, but one to taking down production structures there. And maybe QXC is planning on that big 200-200 battle, and then quickly macroing up with his banked resources. See both players approaching 5k resources. QXC in good position here to macro up off of these 11 barracks right now. Just has 3 starports, 1 factory not doing much of anything, 3 ghost academies, so we may see some nukes coming from QXC. Looks like we have air weapons working for Inflow Mini, so could be transitioning to some sort of airplay. Either a mothership with void rays, or perhaps getting the fleet beacon up again and going for carriers. We see another drop come from QXC in the northern part of the map. Going to be taking down pylons here, and now we're going to have double nukes going off from these 2 ghosts, so if he can keep these ghosts up in time, Inflow Mini going to try to get an observer up here and these Colossus to take out these ghosts, but it's been 20 seconds, those 2 nukes going to go off, taking down, I believe, 5 warp gates as well as a number of pylons. So the production of Inflow Mini really hurting at this point. He has lost a Stargate, lost that fleet beacon as well as the robotics facility, and now unpowering these 2 warp gates and losing about 5 warp gates there to the double nukes. See QXC doing another scan here, wants to continue to focus down this fleet beacon. See 2 more observers coming out on the field for Inflow Mini, so he wants to make sure he has observers positioned for the nukes. We see another nuke. He has not cloaked this ghost, so Mini going to try to focus down these ghosts. If he does have some more warp gate cooldowns, but most of them are unpowered or destroyed at this point, and this nuke is going to go off. So taking down a pylon, unpowering the Stargate. See Colossus coming in, trying to micro and take down these units, but good focus fire by QXC. Want to try to get this 1 Colossus down, 13 HP. Stim up and going to try to do as much damage as he can here. Should be focusing down that Colossus. It's going to live to fight another day. So QXC doing a lot of damage with nukes there in the main of Inflow Mini. Inflow going to respond with observers, but he's back on his heels. Going to try to get up that fleet beacon again. So he really wants that fleet beacon. Not sure whether he's going to try to get that mothership out on the field or whether he's going to go for carriers. QXC preparing a number of Vikings just in case, and going to be patrolling. Again, once those carriers pop out, 1, 2 at a time, or void rays, or even the mothership, if you can catch them pretty quickly with the Vikings before they're able to join the rest of the army, you can perhaps take them down. See QXC doing a huge mule drop at the island expansion here. Looking at the income tab, his income's about 3 times as much as Inflow. Inflow just working off this 4th base as well as this 5th base, both of them pretty well saturated. See QXC doing another drop in the north. These ghosts are going to get stormed and feedbacked very quickly by that Templar. More Templar coming in, hoping to get storms off, but a good EMP taking down the energy of both those Templar, being forced to turn into an Archon. Now Zealots going to come in. They do have leg speed, but again, in these small numbers of units, the advantage really goes to the Protoss player. Going to be focusing down this Nexus. Needs to try to get an EMP on this Archon. So we see another nuke going off on the production structures of Mini. He does not have these ghosts cloaked though, so he needs to protect them. They take a full 20 seconds, and it looks like both ghosts there did not get their nukes off, so Inflow able to stop the bleeding for just a moment with those nukes. And if those 2 nukes had gone off here, it would have cost him another 2 robotics facility. See, he's throwing up warp gates now between his bases, as they are not very susceptible to the drops. So QXC just playing Puppet Master at this point, back and forth with harassment from many different directions, and Inflow just trying to keep his production structures alive. Again, just the one control group, all of his units in that control group. He's got a few scattered at multiple bases here, but has not really been able to push out and pressure the front door of QXC. See a mothership now coming in, about 1/3 of the way done. And it looks like something was taken down. An Archon perhaps focused down quickly. Not really sure what that was all about. Looks like we have a drop in the south from QXC with inflow moving into the fortified position. Trying to get feedbacks on these ghosts, but EMP is AoE and going to be able to target those High Templar all at once. Now inflow going to be forced to pull back and deal with this drop in the south. Again, QXC with the stim concussor shell easily able to kite these zealots, and now forced to pull back his entire army to deal with the pressure here. Again, these drops become ever more effective when you add ghosts and nukes to the mix. If you just drop an 8-pack of Marines, they can do a lot of damage, but if you clean up a few of them, it's not too bad. But that ghost represents the ultimate threat with that nuke, and we see inflow forced to split his army. Now getting up a number of Stargates, so we'll soon have 4 Stargates on the field. If we look at the resource count, QXC about to top the 10k mark, so you're going to have to pay taxes on that pretty soon. And Inflow Mini at the 3700 mark, hoping to dump minerals into some sort of tech with Stargates. See another nuke going off, and Inflow Mini needs to move away from this nuke, doing this at the last second, and he's going to be in time, but the nuke going to take down this photon cannon at the minimum. And one nuke, one photon cannon, but QXC has this pack of ghosts, and they're going to be so annoying. There's 3 Ghost Academies on the field right now, so you're going to be able to prepare all these nukes. Nukes do not take too long to create as well, only 60 seconds of game time. Now we see Observer moving in, trying to focus down those nukes, or the ghosts there, prevent the nukes. As this 3rd nuke about to replace itself. QXC almost with ultimate or unlimited scans at this point as well, as he's got all these orbital commands in the this base over here, 6 of them on this screen alone. So almost unlimited energy. You're going to be using mules entirely to mine off this island expansion, not having to make too many workers. See, he has 67 SCVs compared to the 55 of Inflow Mini. So Mini losing a lot of SCVs, or a lot of probes in the harassment by QXC. Another nuke going down, taking down a pylon, and most of the shields of a photon cannon. So Mini going to try to hold this position. He does have a mothership out, and going to support it with mostly gateway units. QXC for his part, pretty equal army as well. His army mostly made up of Marines. We see 35 Marines, 28 Marauders. He does have just 1 Viking right now, so he's going to need even more Vikings to try to deal with the mothership. Again, the mothership not very mobile, so QXC going to keep up with these drops, taking down these units as they warp in. And Inflow Mini just forced to pull back, so these drops putting Mini back on his heels, and really wants to move forward with that mothership or use it in some capacity, as he is maxed out on army. But QXC just applying great pressure with these medevacs the entire game. So we'll see which player moves out first here, as they are both close to max. Looks like we have the mothership moving into the position here. The missile turret going to be very good against this mothership, taking about half the shields down already. We'll see a recall pulling all the units up over this ledge for Inflow Mini, and QXC is going to be out of position, needs to stim up, try to get in a position to take down these units, wants to attack with all of his units at once, leading with these ghosts, going to try to get off EMPs. 1 EMP going down, but a number of feedbacks going down, and Mini doing a good job cleaning up those ghosts before they're able to do too much damage.